and welcome to the Business Devil. Today is a bit of a different podcast than usual, because today we are going to talk about the bet I want to take with my future career. As many of you know, I started this podcast as a marketeer, and I have been getting the request of other people if the podcast will be my main focus. The answer is no. This podcast is only as a supplementary podcast to the person I am. It's a bit of my personal branding, you could say. And for marketing wise, I want to work in marketing, in a creative industry. I have been having calls with multiple companies, with multiple recruiters, and out of these calls, it has a few points that come up each time. The first is, they are surprised because I'm only 24 years old, and the knowledge that I hold doesn't suit my age. It is as if I'm mid-30s, if we talk about age category. That's due to how I have been raised and how I absorb knowledge from everywhere. So, due to that, they talked to me and we were talking more about which industries would help me make myself better, would help me improve and suit the path I want to take for the future. Well, first point that comes forward is I'm a very creative person. I love to combine creativity with analytic research and with strategy and overall management to achieve results. And in marketing, this is a role that you don't see very often, because normally a marketeer is focused on one part. You have the business analysts, which is also a marketing role. You have the marketeers that do the research, the testing, like A/B testing, etc. That's research marketing. Then you have the creative marketeers. They do, you can divide them in two. You have the graphic marketeers, who are the people who like to design and do the video editing, etc. And you have the creative, who come up with the creative ideas on which you can make a publishing or you can make a video. So a bit more of a director role, let's say. And then you also have the other part, strategic marketing. That's using business analytics together with trend watching, etc. to come to a good conclusion. And I'm good at most of these parts actually. So for me, it's a combined role. And you would think, okay, why don't you work in a startup? Because in a startup, you have a lot of normal creative ideas, but it also limits you because you don't have the budgets. Let's talk honestly, if you work for a startup, normally you will work with marketing budgets between €0 and about at maximum 5 to 10,000 euros in the early startup phase. If you're in a later startup phase, you can go up to 50,000 or something. But as a marketeer, those budgets are considered very low. Till now, I have no problems with these budgets because I have been working with these type of budgets before, and most of the time we gain very good results, luckily. But in marketing, budget is a big thing. So if I want to do my creativity, I need to come up in a sector that will provide me with the tools I need to further develop myself. And these creative industries, they are easy to spot. Let's say FMCG, because in FMCG you can use your creativity to market a product in another way. Another can be, for instance, the fashion industry, one of my big passions, and it also has a lot of untapped potential because each time you have a new clothing line, you can use a new marketing strategy. Of course, it needs to suit in corporate strategy, but different lines means different measurements. Then you also have entertainment industry, like let's say music, movie, etc. That industry is very creative. Mostly they have bigger budgets to work with, so a lot of creativity there. But this is for the role I want to take. I want to go to more creative marketing way and combine both my analytical side, my strategic side together with my creativity and further develop myself that way. But now comes the most important, and this comes from a recruiter I have talked with last week, and I'm being plain honest. I went for a role. It's in IT industry, also as a marketeer, and we were talking about creative freedom, etc., freedom of speech, and he was talking. Okay, and what is it that attracts you to this job? And I talked to him. Okay, you have a lot of creativity. You're still in this phase, so as long as I can use my creative side, it is okay. And he said, well, I looked at your profile, and to me you are more like an international role. How do you see yourself in that? And my answer to that was very easy. Yes, I have an international degree. I have an international role because I always wanted to work on an international level. I don't want to be bound by one country. I want to work within a country but still be able to bring my marketing to the world, to a bigger audience, a bigger public, to have more in-depth conversations with other branches abroad and see what the differences are, also work on those differences, etc. So he said, well, okay, I'm going to talk to my boss. And the next day he sent me a mail and he called me and he said, Robbie, your profile, it's perfect, but we are not going forward with it. The reason for us is you will be bored in this role because we are not internationally and we don't actually have a big margin that we can do. The creative side for marketing, okay, we leave that up to your hands, but even that's limited due to the fact of what our company does. So he told me, if I can give you one advice, don't stay in Belgium, go abroad. And after talking further and further and looking at what I've been doing over the last couple of years, I decided that my future path is not in Europe, but is in Asia. The reason for that, Asia has a lot of potential. So if any companies out of China, Japan or Korea are watching this and you know of a company that needs a marketeer, be sure to hit me up because I'm looking for a new role in that area, especially South Korea due to me having a lot of personal friends there. This was a little podcast about this fact, about the path that I want to take. I want to keep it real with you guys and I want to share what my ideas are, what my vision is for the future. So this is my vision for the future, my future path. I want to make a goal of myself to work in APAC by the end of this year. And I hope I can achieve it. If not, I will have to use one of my other plans to go further. But I hope you can support me in this and I hope you enjoyed this little podcast. For next week's podcast, we will be talking about creative marketing. What will work for creative marketing, how you need to think nowadays to actually be creative in your creative marketing, because creative marketing isn't the same as 5 years ago. We still use the same principles, but we need to change them. So thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening to what I have in mind with my future path, and hope to see you next week in the next podcast. Thank you. Bye.